and make sure that every building built in Nigeria henceforth must be disability friendly. So the fact, because anybody can be disabled tomorrow. It's not even from birth now. People have accidents every day on the roads, and then you lose the function of your legs. You have to be in a wheelchair. And then you cannot go to your banks anymore. You can't go to hotels. You can't go anywhere. So you are just a prisoner, right in your home, or maybe your office. So there's a lot that the government and the society can do. We could be kinder. Just say hello. You don't have to. And if you see that a disabled person needs help, you can offer to help. If they want the help, they will take it. If they don't want, then not everybody wants to be hugged. So you can't just say hello.
Mr. Gbadebo, how do you handle those who are taking out or want to take out their anger? Mr. Gbadebo talked about some of them are angry.
Yeah.
So how do you handle those who want to take out their anger on the society?
You see, adults...
Sorry, anger born out of frustration.
Frustration.
Anger born out of frustration, how do you do it? You try to be friendly. I'll tell you, I have never had problems with disabled people. I don't know, maybe because I'm a little more receptive to them, okay? But is it when Dada says, hug them, not everybody wants to be hugged. You might want to be hugged, but not everybody wants to be hugged. You see, because a lot of them, like I said, the mature ones, they've seen so much repulsion and rejection from childhood, and they've had to fight their way to the top. If you see any disabled person who is a graduate, respect them. They've gone through a lot. Okay?
Nigeria.
And some of them they've taken a stand. They will fight. Even if you want to say hello, they see you as being opposition until you break the barrier. So you have to, sort of like, understand that and play along with them and let them see your sincerity. You see, when a person cannot speak, when they're not articulate, we think they cannot hear. You see, they are the most sensitive people in the world. Even when you smile and you don't mean it, they feel it. You understand? So, and the mistake some of us make is to think because the person is deaf or dumb or they cannot hear, and then we say negative things in their presence. Oh, you've killed them, and you've also killed yourself. So the thing really is, when you say how do we cope with people who are angry, we need to create a more friendly, more inclusive society, and it comes from education. We need to educate our people. We need to do a lot more awareness campaigns. Like the dad said, there must be a lot more visibility of the positive aspects of disability. Because we have lost it, like I said, on disability, all we have are homes and schools where we keep these children like zoos. We just go there to see them and take pictures and give them stuff. And we miss it in that portion. Whereas we should bring in like volunteerism into our schools, primary, secondary, even universities, where children are encouraged to spend hours, like on Saturdays or so, in a home to interact with these children, to see them. Then also create environments where they can come into normal schools. Because you see, when you have a special school, what you're saying is that you people are not normal. You can't mix with normal people. And there are some special children that are so gifted, even when they are not articulate. There's a lot of assistive technology you can use now. Once you get them through 6, 7, 8 years in maybe the special school, and they are independent to some extent, which may include even having a carer go with them to a normal school, they need to get to a normal school so that they can be challenged and to become better in what they're doing. So it is when we create this society that begins to see them as normal, that begins to be receptive to them, that we will break this barrier of anger. But for now, it is there. You see, we are the ones who now have to work at showing any disabled person that we see that we're not their enemy. Okay? And once you show sincerity, I'm telling you, you got them.
Okay, there are quite a lot of tweets here, and DK is saying that our system don't support people with special needs. Our roads don't have sidewalks and ramps, no traffic lights for them. All of this,
A lot.
you know,
Parking space.
the people in government will tell you that, okay, we also have other issues and that we need to take care of, but this is equally important. And so how can they manage everything
Let me
together?
tell you something. Let me tell you something. Government is not getting it right. Government's job is not to do everything. Government's job is to understand the need for certain things. I'll tell you, take sports. How much is government putting into sports? Okay, government has created a situation where, you know, multinationals and big companies are putting money into sports and sponsoring school sports, secondary school football, and so on and so forth. Okay, all government has to do is make it mandatory that we support special needs, that we create inclusive society. Transportation, when a state government says they are going to buy disabled-friendly buses, how many can you buy? You just have to recognize that there is a need for disabled-friendly transportation and legislate that all public transportation must be that suitable. And you find out how long it takes to order new buses, and you give them a grace period of 2 years, 4 years, whatever it takes. And then from that time on, every vehicle coming in must be there. Public buildings, every public building, it doesn't have to be government, it could be a private public building, a hotel, churches, and so on. And you just say that we've taken a decision that in the next 2-3 years, every public building must be disabled friendly. And then we have regulatory authority that goes around checking these things. And you see, government's job is to regulate. But you see, we have a system in our country where when you talk about a problem, government now think, okay, we have to find money to do it. No, you regulate, let private sector, let private business do their own thing. You see, people will not, you see, if you go to what I call some hotels or businesses that are internationals in this country, you'll find they have ramps, they have disabled toilets. Even if you can go to some of them and spend all day in the toilet and nobody uses it. But it is standard in their own practice that it must be there. So a hotel will not build a disabled-friendly room or toilet if you don't insist that they do it. But you see, people also say, like we talk about cerebral palsy or children's disability, people say you don't know how many of them are there. Because we don't even take statistics, because the children don't come out. Drug manufacturing companies need to understand that the bulk of the medication used for children with developmental disabilities are sourced privately by parents who can afford it. And a lot of other parents are not even putting their children on any medication because they cannot afford the expensive ones that are coming in. But the reality is that if the statistics are properly put out, we got over 700,000 children with cerebral palsy. I can't give you the figure for autism, for Down syndrome, for attention deficit disorder, and all those things. It goes into millions, right? Now, if you get the statistics right, then pharmaceutical companies know that, wow, there's money here in producing these drugs. You can say to me that, well, most families won't be able to pay. That's what government is there for. We've got a law that says children under 5 get free medical services. And where is it happening? Even if they can see a doctor, where are the drugs? Okay? So it is when we get people, those in authority, to understand these issues, those in private sector to understand this issue. Look, I'm telling you, there is money to be made in disability. Serious money to be made. People should stop looking at disability as something to just give out arms, give out money, go to a home once in a while and give out bags of rice. We must look at how to commercialize disability. He talked about the entertainment industry. And an artist is asking me, what is there for me if I identify with a disability group? You don't know what you're missing. Because when these things explode, and I'm telling you, they'll be begging to endorse disability.
We've noticed, for instance, Dada has a master's degree.
Yeah.
He has 3 companies already running, and he's a consultant to another company that doesn't know. He said that. Well, a lot of people, like someone's tweeting here, it says, Dika says, we miss out on their ingenuity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But is it possible to create avenues to make things easier for those living with disability without proper understanding?
No, that's why we're talking about awareness.
Awareness.
That's why
what we're
we
doing.
are working on awareness. You see, my wife talked about schools. And
As
that's
we're
just one
going,
of them.
yeah.
We're working on packages, working on curriculums. You see, if I tell you that the average doctor does not understand childhood disability,
Yeah.
you may not understand, you may not like it. But that's the reality.
But he knows the
he's
child.
a GP.
Okay, the
Right,
doctor
general
knows.
practitioner.
General practice.
He has to specialize as a pediatrician and even go further to neurology and all that to
Before
understand
you
some of these
notice.
things. Okay, now, but there's no money there. Okay, all the money is in plastic surgery and a few other things. Okay, so doctors specialize in those areas where they're going to get money until we create a situation where government and private sector are paying for these families to come in to get these services. And until we let people know the options that are out there, it's not going to happen.
The issue of employment, for instance, creating jobs for those living with disability, they are not guaranteed jobs.
Oh.
And then one time we hear the politicians talk about,
Can I
yes,
comment on that? And that's another, I want to speak with the HR practitioner. You are disabled if you are looking at the outside, if you cannot see the inside.